We're back, baby.
Hola.
It's been a couple weeks since the podcast, but
Maybe 3.
we were all like,
Maybe 4.
yeah, we're going to get back on track.
Oh. It's been, well, we had to get ready for the show. We had to go to the show, the Atlantic City show.
Yeah.
We had things to do.
But we're back.
We are back.
We missed you. We hope that you missed us.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Nah.
All right, so let's go over. We just got back, well, Sunday morning, super early,
about
3 a.m.
What time did you get in bed?
About 15 after 3.
Well, I had to take the trailer back to the yard.
I was going to offer, but
No. I didn't expect it. There's no use for you to go. And I didn't get in bed till it was almost 4 a.m. Time I took the trailer back and hooked it, put everything up, and got home. I think I looked at the clock. I crawled in bed at 3:40 a.m., which is 20 minutes to 4.
I had a hard time falling asleep, though. Like, I got into bed, and I was just like, I don't know, it's like...
You were kind of dozing off.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the truck.
It always happens at the same place.
I look over at you. I'm like my wingman.
Yeah, he's
about
gone.
to doze off.
We get to, like, almost, like, Brown Summit around there. That's, like, where it hits me.
Because it's psychological, too.
Yeah.
You know you're almost home, and you can't wait to get in bed.
You dozed off, too.
Driving a couple times. You caught me.
I did.
I was snoozing.
No, you didn't.
What was I going to say?
Psychological, like...
Yeah, it's like, man, I can't wait to get in bed. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I couldn't wait to get in bed. Then when I got in bed, I couldn't get to sleep.
That's how it was, yeah.
And then Sunday morning, man, I didn't get up till 10.
I woke up like 10 on the dot.
I woke up at 7.
I did not.
And I'm like, I should get up. And then I'm thinking, oh, man, I've only had 3 hours of sleep. And I got nothing to do today, really. Didn't have anything to do on Sunday.
I did, though. Like, I mowed and cooked, barbecued.
I didn't do anything. I was tired. And I'll tell you, it was worse on Monday morning.
Oh, I know. I was dragging.
I am not used
and
to
my
staying
voice
up that late.
was like, like, you know, when you don't sleep, you sound like you smoked a pack of cigarettes.
Well,
like,
we talked a lot, too, at the show. But
I only have so much voice capacity to save it.
Well, I mean, you can't drink enough water, and you're so busy talking to customers. I'm hoarse all the time anyway. I got something wrong. I need to go to the veterinarian. Seems like I'm always clearing my throat. I try to drink a lot of water, try to drink a lot of fluids.
Yeah, I would go down, because I went buying water. It's ridiculous in that little gift shop thing or whatever.
I kept filling my bottles up in the room and bringing them.
Filling in what?
I just dip them in the toilet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
My water bottles.
No,
you can't. If you can't get it under the nozzles.
If you go into the gym,
if you dip them into the sink,
there's a water thing
into the toilet.
You just fill it up with water.
I didn't even think about that.
I did. That's what I did every day.
It's Atlantic City. Their toilet water's good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We had a good show.
Yeah, it was good. Thursday was nuts. I thought Thursday was by far the busiest.
And I was talking to a guy I know there, one of our competitors, and he said Saturday was his best day.
No way.
I'm like, well, it wasn't for us.
It could have been for them, but Thursday, literally, I don't think I stopped talking until I looked at my watch. It was like after 5. I'm like, dang, it's over.
Yeah.
And then Friday was like up and down, and Saturday was the same way. It's like it would be, you'd have swings of people come in, and then it'd be a little bit of nothing. But it was still, I mean, I thought it was a good show.
You think it was better than last year?
I don't know. Let me think about it.
They all kind of run together a bit.
Yeah. I think it was probably about the same. And for Thursday, for whatever reason, you wouldn't think that would be the busiest day. Don't you think it was?
Yes. I mean, we were slammed at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We had, everybody was engaged with customers. How'd you like that? You like that professionalism?
I didn't know where you're going.
And I didn't even leave to pee.
I did not Thursday.
I did not leave the booth. This is not good. I had nothing to drink, and I didn't pee.
No food.
No food. I had some bars in my bag. Didn't eat the first one. I was getting ready. I'm like, I need to get some water or a cup of coffee, and somebody would grab me. I'm not complaining. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
But that's not healthy.
It's like when you get done with the show, it's like everybody's excited to go to dinner, and I'm just like,
No.
exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm
It was. But I will tell you, we went to dinner early, relatively speaking. We were at dinner at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you went gambling, so you weren't too tired. You went too tired.
Oh, yeah, was that Thursday?
Yeah, because Tom went with us. No, it wasn't. We went to.
That was after the Cuban place.
That was Friday.
No, that was Thursday.
Was Thursday.
Yeah,
because
it was Thursday.
Wednesday, when everybody got in, we went to Angelo's.
Yeah.
We didn't have reservations. We had reservations
Thursday,
and Friday, and then Saturday everybody left.
Yeah.
Left me, you, and Earl there.
And Vinny, he helped. He was great.
Vinny did help. He did. I got to tell you, he was a big help. I give him grief, but he helped push the machine, and yeah, he did good.
Yeah, I think it was a good show. I've got, the 8-head that we took was already sold, which that was the delivery process for that it was fine, but
it always, we figure out, we get it figured out. We always figure something out. But I'm thinking, first of all, the place we went to wasn't bad. I just thought we would just like dump it off but we stayed and helped the customer put it in his building,
mm-hmm.
and we pushed it into where it was going to sit. But yeah, it just the truck wasn't long enough.
Yeah,
the rollback really and truly wasn't long enough because he pulled it up on there. It wasn't anything really big.
It's just a lot of little things that added up to like, man, if we'd have just figured this out from the jump, we'd have been in and out there in 20 minutes.
If we would have done it like we normally would have done it, but we were coerced into not doing it our way.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that. And that made me very nervous.
Oh yeah, it's always I've said it before. Like moving machines, it was cold. And I was sweating because I get anxious.
I was too.
I'm like,
I was too.
Please don't let something happen.
Yeah, I mean we were on kind of an incline, and if something would have broke loose,
it would have been the machine.
We'd have been waving at that because once it goes, get out of the way. You're not stopping it.
It would have wound up in Gunpowder State Park in Maryland.
Yeah. My winch, for whatever reason, we finally figured it. We worked on it. We worked on it before yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
It was yesterday. My winch, for whatever reason, it would take up, like it would pull the machine in, but it wouldn't let it out. And that was number one. That was the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is what normally would have been a 5-minute, just ease it down the ramp with the winch. That didn't work. We had to rely on the tow truck dude.
Which as far as problem solving, I'm glad that dude was there. Because he was the one that came up with the idea to essentially make a bridge. That's what we did.
Yeah. And, I got to thinking, I delivered a 6-head machine in Memphis, Tennessee, to one of our customers. And he had a really long rollback truck. And he backed up. He got right to the tailgate and put his tailgate against mine and winched it up in there. And for some reason, he couldn't do that.
Those cables that run off the side of it.
Well, my trailer.
I'm just saying it was too wide. That truck was too wide to fit in between.
There was something
cables.
different about that truck than there was the one, because when he said I'll just back up to it, I'm like, well, yeah, we've done that before,
mm-hmm.
and then we just push it to the edge. Well, what was hurting us?
The winch.
We were on an incline too.
Yeah, and the
That's
winch
what it was.
Not
if it would have been perfectly level. If it would have been perfectly level, we could have pushed it off.
For sure.
There's no doubt in my mind. But it wasn't. It was at such an incline.
You were either going to push it out of the trailer uphill,
yeah,
or how we were facing, you're pushing an 8-head, which is a lot of weight downhill, and gravity wins.
I was going to turn around, and we could have pushed. The four of us could have pushed it off that way into the parking lot, which probably would have been quicker. To me, just flip it around. Say we almost had it. we almost had it. Well, we had it cinched back in there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said, "Oh no, whatever. This is boring." it just like,
It was exciting at the time. I'll tell you that much.
I've done this hundreds of times, and then I've got a way of doing it, and I'm not saying my way is perfect, but it has always worked, and then it gets changed, and I went along with it, and I should have just said, you know what?
We both should have said,
Let's
just do this.
Let's do it this way. But we were trying to be nice guys because we are.
Yeah, and in theory, it did work. Just not as smoothly as it should have.
Like I said, I mean, we were there an hour and we should have been there 30 minutes.
But in an hour, we got it unloaded, moved it in exactly where it's living to this day.
Yeah.
And the install happened that following Monday.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good turnaround.
That's a good turnaround. I mean, and like I said, part of life is you're going to have issues and problems, and you just have to deal with them. Don't whine about it. Just use your noggin and get it figured out.
We got it done. And I want to thank Jim, too, the tech up in Virginia. He was on top of everything. Like, he called me at the show to make sure we were all set up.
Yeah.
And the customer, too. Like, we've had good communication through the whole process. Because it came a rain on Saturday.
Oh, my
and we were
goodness.
like, well, we're just going to have to stay in Maryland and deliver it Sunday. But he's like, nope, it's clear here. So we're like, all right, let's get it done.
They never had as much rain as we had in
it was
Atlantic
nuts.
City. It was
Wind, rain.
absolutely a deluge.
Speaking of, we also sold... We've got a new guest here.
Oh, we do have a new guest.
This is the new Pro 3 that came back with us. We sold the old one that used to sit here, so it's got a good new home. But me and Vinny took that downstairs to load to a customer's Winnebago, which is exciting.
Yeah, that was a whole, it's the things that we do.
Yeah.
The things that we get into. And if you're in this business long enough, you'll see it all.
It was pouring. I mean, rain coming. We were under the canopy.
But it was blowing in.
Blowing in. And the impression sign was out there. Did I tell you this? There was a guy walking. And
Is it the one that was on the springs?
Yeah.
Going back and forth?
One of them flew off, and this guy was walking. He was probably 100 yards down the walkway, and that thing snapped off and went flying towards him. I was like, it's going to hit him, and I couldn't say anything, and it barely missed his head. And he turned around like, oh, my gosh.
Well, I had brought my trailer over there, and you remember we carried the accessories to that machine to the Winnebago, and that door, the wind caught it. And if someone would have had their finger in there, it would have cut your fingers off. That's how hard that went. I've never seen that. I've been going up there for years. I've never seen the wind blow that hard. One other time, we were years and years and years ago when we were at the old convention center on the boardwalk. It came up a windstorm. It was blowing sand.
Is that a nor'easter?
Whatever.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, nor'easter. It blew sand up on the boardwalk. That's how hard it was blowing.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, you got to deal with it. But the show was good. We sold some stuff.
Still got some more stuff coming in. People following up. I'm working through the leads now, and it's like it's a chore. But I've had people already call me from the show like, "Hey, let me get a machine on order." So that's good.
I was surprised. I think that's the most customers you've ever had at a show from your territory.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's just down the road, Delaware, but still.
It always seems like it's always PA, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. Yeah. That's what kind of saturates that show.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Had a ton of people from Maryland, Delaware, Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Florida. I don't know if anybody was there from Georgia. That I didn't.
I don't remember seeing anyone. But
yeah, thanks for coming, and it was good to see people hadn't seen in a year or seeing you for the first time. So thank you.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good show. It's not my favorite place to go to. Nothing against the folks that live there.
I
God
love
bless
the
them.
show, but man, my bottles are dripping all over me. Yeah, because I like to get out and explore. I don't feel super safe doing that there.
No, it's sad how that town has run down. It's sad. It's sad. And it's not a knock on anybody at all. It's if you would have gone there 25, 30 years ago when I first started going, it was vibrant. All the casinos, there were casinos everywhere. There were more hotels. There weren't as many homeless people aggravating you. Some of the restaurants have closed that we used to go to.
And even stuff that is open just closes, which it is off season. I mean,
I never did get to go to Bass Pro Shop, and I wanted to. They were. I mean,
the only time the first year I went there was the only time I've ever been able to go.
You and I walked over there one day.
Yeah, me, Kevin, and Earl went, and they were closed. So,
and I would have liked to go on and walk to the casino some, but I just don't feel safe walking after dark up there.
Yeah, we did that. Me and Earl and Sarah did that one. I don't know where we were coming back from or why. Might have been that day that we walked like 8 miles, and we walked back to the hotel, and it was sketchy. Yeah.
We had some good food though.
Oh yeah. And I did pick up a crippling gambling habit. Thanks to Tom of
Gamblers Anonymous.
Tom of Geneva Capital and friend of the podcast and previous guest has ruined me financially.
Yeah.
You remember that? You didn't watch Tiger King, did you?
No.
Have you seen the memes where he's like, I'll never financially recover from this?
Yeah.
It's going to be my face on there when March Madness is over.
Yeah. What'd you lose? $40?
No, I'm actually up.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you betting this weekend on the games?
I've already got bets in.
What about Carolina game?
I've already got a bet in.
Win, lose, draw.
Win, lose, and draw. Win. I got them to win.
I saw where they're picked to win.
Yeah, which is crazy. I'm not going that far.
How do you?
I don't know.
I mean, Carolina's the number 1 seed, and Alabama was a 7, 9.
I mean, they should, by all measurements, they should beat Alabama. But then I think they'll face Arizona, and that's going to be tough.
But I think they can beat both teams.
Sure. Anybody can beat anybody, as we saw.
I mean, anybody can beat anybody, of course. But I like their chances against both teams. It's not like...
You know who Duke plays next?
Mm-mm.
Houston, baby.
Yeah, they're going down.
I love it. I hope so. Like
Houston's good. I'm telling you, Houston. I don't think I'm a Carolina fan. I don't think they'll win it.
I don't either.
I don't think Arizona will win it.
Arizona is my pick. That's who I picked when I did my bracket originally. I have Arizona winning the national championship.
Connecticut is extremely tough.
Yep.
Houston is extremely tough. I look for Houston and Connecticut to be in there, and then the other 2 slots is anybody's guess. I have no idea who it could be. It could be Carolina.
Yeah, but
Purdue's good.
Yeah,
but they're streaky. I watched them play some this year, and they've lost some games. Like everybody loses games that you really shouldn't lose.
NC State, man, who knows?
Well, they're on a
tear, man.
They are, and it wouldn't bother me at all if they were there. I mean, they're right down the road here in Raleigh, so yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
this
that.
is the first time since 2015 that you've had Duke, Carolina State in the this far into the tournament. That's pretty impressive.
I didn't know State had been that far into the tournament, and
since 2015 is the stat I read.
Okay, well,
you know, you got to read these things when you're playing. You got money on the line.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, all right.
But me and Tom went to the ocean, which was, man, it's nice. It is beautiful.
See, I wanted to go over there, but when we dropped you off, I mean, Vinny and I were like, hey man, maybe we should have stayed.
I'm surprised
there.
Vinny didn't, because he
was tired. We were all tired.
I was too. I stayed there till I did not get back to the hotel till 1 a.m.
I just wanted to go in and walk through it because I remember when they built that thing, they never opened it. I think
it's only been open 2 years.
Yeah, it went bankrupt. I think somebody else bought it. It didn't open, and yeah, I think it opened last year. I think last year or maybe it was the year before last.
Yeah,
they
I remember
said
seeing it lit up, whatever year that was. But it was nice. We went to the sports book, and we were on the second level, so above everybody, in like what was essentially reserved seats. Like you have to call and reserve a table. We just went and sat down. Nobody bothered us. We sat there till 1 o'clock. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
maybe next year, because we'll definitely be back.
I've promised Tom every time we go, because he always says, "Hey, you want to go out and gamble?" And I'll never do it. And I see what happens. Addiction is crippling.
It's tough. You need to go to a 3-step, 10-step program.
I need some steps.
Some steps.
To go through.
Steps. But yeah, I mean, we're no more shows until September. No, October. Fort Worth is October this year. It was
and
in
then
September
November
last year.
is the GPX. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Canada for a couple of shows. I'm going to Germany.
That's coming up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks. I'm going to the text process. I think that's what it is. I'm looking forward to that. I love Germany. I love it.
I had several people. I guess they went to Long Beach that came by the booth. They're like, "How come you're not at Long Beach?" So I guess I have to go at some point.
Yeah, I need to get you out there.
I was supposed to go this year, but Puerto Rico's calling.
You guys had a trip. So, but we're done for the summer.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else is. I'll probably go up to Canada for a couple of shows up there. But
it was good to see. I'd never met Mike before from Canada.
Oh, Mike Charlin?
Yeah.
He's a good man.
He is, yeah. I had a good time talking to him.
Yeah, he's fun. I like hanging out with him.
That is one thing, too, I like about the shows. I like hanging out with everybody.
It is. We work hard and we help each other out and we talk to customers all day and you're kind of tired. But then again, I get to see these guys all the time, but you don't.
Yeah.
And they don't get to see you. And I'm surprised that you hadn't met Mike.
The sales meeting we did, he was not there.
Oh, you know why he wasn't there? Habib came. There was a trade show going on. They had a show.
Okay.
He and Duck Lee and somebody else worked the show. So there was a trade show going on up there. I think in Toronto or maybe in Niagara Falls. That's why. Mike would have been to the sales meeting.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for that.
But, yeah, man, he works, he pitches in and does,
he never sits still.
I know.
He's a ball. He's a ball of energy.
People.
I mean, yeah, I do too. Whatever you're doing, he's not sitting there watching. He jumps, and Habib does too.
Yeah, I mean everybody. Honestly,
are really hard workers. I mean, none of us sit around. If something needs to be done, and we, like you had to cut some backing. You cut extra backing at the show.
Yeah, it's just little things that you like. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I cut. I don't know how many things of foam here, but forgot the backing. So it's like, let's get that done. Mike kept the caps clean. Mm-hmm. Really, he got them off and tore the backing out and picked the foam out of them. And Habib would, when I couldn't get to the literature, he would. Yeah.
He kept. We all chipped in and kept the machines running as far as hooping the single heads. Earl's just.
It's like if you go over to the multi-head, you're in the way because he's just on top of it. And
yeah.
I try to help out when I can, but he's like so quick, and I will slow him down.
I'm telling you that multi-head sewed.
It was like crazy.
And I know people don't believe this, and I don't care. We have our networking system hooked up to two of the single heads and the 8-head, mm-hmm. and it records every machine stoppage, any event. It's called an event. An event could be run out of bobbin, thread break, turning the machine off, operator taking a break, whatever. But the first day we went and looked at the reporting that BNet had gleaned off of the 8-head.
Oh, that's a word.
And Earl said, I asked Earl Thursday, we had a little bit of a lull, and I said, and I hadn't really been around the 8-head. I said, how's the machine running? He said, I don't think it had a thread break. And I said, oh, come on. He said, I didn't fix one. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say one of us didn't. I didn't fix it. You didn't fix one. Mm-mm. So at the end of the day, we went over to BNet, and we pulled it up. It had not broken a thread all day. And we're talking running caps, sewing puffy foam. Mm-hmm. Hadn't broken a thread. It ran out of bobbin, of course, but it never broke a thread.
That's like it was Long Beach too. That 6-head you
said
ran.
Same way. It ran and ran and ran. So I mean, I'm so impressed with the quality of the machines coming out of Japan right now, getting better and better.
Yeah, it's we have the luxury of having them here in the office, but we don't run them all the time. It's nice to see at a show. I mean, those machine run. That's one thing I will say. I'm not going to name any names, but you go by other people's booths and their machines aren't running all the time. Yeah. Not literally.
I had customers tell me that.
Yeah.
You guys run your machines all the time. I
said,
yeah, we do. You're here to see it, right? you don't want to see it just looking at it. It's no different than looking at it in a picture in a book.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we're here. And I want the machines running. It bothers me when a machine's not running.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times, a customer wants you to stop it or whatever, or you're in between runs, or it's out of bobbin, or maybe a thread break and you didn't get to it. But, everybody's good to fix, going and getting the machine running again, changing a bobbin, fixing the thread break, or just putting in a new bag or whatever it is that we're sewing. So, yeah, we go through a lot of product.
Yeah, and the amount of hats we sewed is nuts. Like
and the amount we gave away, was crazy.
I've got a couple stowed away to send to Arnaldo, and I'm like, are there hats even left? Because we took.
Did you find them?
I haven't even looked in that box, but I can make them if not. But
we can sew them here. We got the design, but Earl put some in there.
Okay, I think they're in the tote, so I haven't done anything.
Okay,
yeah, it's just seeing them run for that long, and literally, I kind of hover around, and it's like you really don't have to do that much. Just it was either changing the bobbin or putting something new on there. Occasionally a thread breaks. Nothing ever. I ain't that smart. I can fix it.
Well, and that's what I tell customers or folks looking at an embroidery machine or thinking about getting into it. I'm like, you don't have to babysit this thing.
Right.
You don't. Set it up, push the go button, let it do its thing. If it breaks a thread, it's going to stop. It's out of bobbin, it's going to stop. Go hoop up something else or make a phone call, whatever you have to do. But you don't really run an embroidery machine, do you?
No.
You're not running it like you're there pulling on things and pushing buttons and all this. Once you got it set up, it kind of does its own thing.
I like to. Do you remember the Ronco food dehydrator?
Mm-hmm.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I think these operate.
Wasn't that the rotisserie thing too?
He did that.
Yeah.
He also had that hair in a can that you could probably use.
I think I had some of that.
I doubt that.
As a joke.
Did you really? You bought some as a joke?
I think your uncle.
That's probably
your Uncle Gary.
That's probably
bought some. Anyway, the show was good. It was really nice seeing customers.
I had a lot of people, BNet itself hasn't been out that long, but networking has been out a long time. That there were a lot more people interested in that, which, that's what we've said. Like, that's where things are going to go is how do you get your designs to the machines. There were a lot of people inquiring about BNet.
Yeah, that's good. And it's good having Thad there because he can explain the technicalities. I can tell you how it works. I can demo it. I can show you on the screen. Here's what it does. But when you start asking me technical questions,
we tag teamed on quite a few because they would have like machine questions I can handle, and then it gets to networking. I can get you so far, and then tag Thad in and take it from there. So,
but Thad, man, he jumps in and talks to customers too.
Yeah.
Everybody
does. It's,
Kevin does. It's a Baird team effort. And I truly love the people I work with. Nobody sits there and it's like, well, I'm not talking to that person. They're not in my territory. They're not this. They're not that. No, we all jump in and help each other.
Yeah.
And for the boys to come down from Canada and work as hard as they did, that says a lot about the people we have.
Yeah.
Here at Baird. I'll put a little feather in everybody's cap.
Yeah, it's good people, man.
Man. I like everybody, man. We have a good time. We joke around.
Yeah, and there's people there outside of Vinny's territory he's helping, outside of my territory. There were people from all over, and just we all help each other, man. That's how it should be.
Yeah. I've worked years ago. Some of the guys were like badge watchers. You know what a badge watcher is?
Yeah, you look and see what state are you in.
They're not my territory. I'll just slide over here.
Man,
I'll waste my time. I'd never do that.
You
wrote.
I wrote
2, 3, 4,
3
orders.
3 orders for other people.
Yeah.
So
I didn't hear you whine about it.
No, I don't. It's a good thing for everybody. It doesn't hurt me.
It's good for the company. It all comes around in the end. What you do for others will come back and it'll do the same for you tenfold. And I truly believe that.
And likewise, Gary, I know from Long Beach, Gary sent me orders that he did for me. I was like, that's what we do. So
yeah.
That's a good thing, man. I don't know. It's not good to be selfish, and it's going to help you out in the long run. And, you're representing the company.
Yeah.
So show up, show out.
I hear you.
You hear me?
I hear you. Truth. Speak truth.
I'm spitting fire.
Hey, let's talk about, a question we got at the show a lot. And do you get this in sales calls too? What we're about to discuss?
What are we talking about? Boats?
No, we're not talking about boats. Boats
yeah.
is last.
Yeah, occasionally. Go ahead, fire away.
No, I was just going to say that, there's some new technology out there that some of our competitors have that we don't. And we'll tell you why we don't. But there's a lot of talk about auto tensioning on machines.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 of our competitors that have it, and we're just going to give you our thoughts about it. And that was the number one thing that came up with me was when I was talking to people who were looking at an embroidery machine. Would you have auto tensioning? And I'm like, no. Why? And they're like, well, it seems easy. I said, well, it's not push a button magically and everything works. You still have to make some settings in the automat,
mm-hmm.
or in Melco's case on the computer. It doesn't just do it completely automatically. There's still some settings in there. But technology can be a good thing, and I never knock technology totally. But what I will say is I feel like they're answering a question that nobody really asked. And this is just my opinion. I think there's a lot to be said. And let me preface this by saying we had a meeting last year on some of the things that we like to see on our machines. I think I told you this.
Mm-hmm.
We have technical meetings every year. I went to Japan. I was in Japan last year, and they said, "Well, what improvements would you like to see?" And we all have a little list. I have a list. Kevin has a list. Earl has a list. Thad has a list, and we just kind of put them all together. And this is not what we want. Selfishly, it's what our customers want.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to see this, or this. And one thing that came up is Japan asked us, well, how do you feel about auto tensioning? How'd you like to see that on the machine? And to a man, the four of us said, absolutely not. And that is something I do not want Barrett to do.
I'm in the same boat.
I don't want it. And we got, and I'll just tell you, Tajima has it, SWF has it, Melco has it. And we got that question quite a bit. Well, what about auto tensioning? And I'm proud to say we don't have it.
Yeah.
And
just before you go on, and I told you this, I had more people that came by that were in the same boat we were that were like, I'm glad that you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was more people I had people ask about it, and then they followed up with, I'm glad it doesn't have that, which I'm kind of in the same. They're like, I'm old school, and, the Barretons run. We don't really have to mess with that stuff, and why put it on there if you don't need it?
Well, I think tensions are understood,
mm-hmm.
And it's new people that are asking.
Correct,
and that's
it seems appealing. Like I don't have to mess with that.
They should, because I have new people tell me I see all those knobs and it's very intimidating,
mm-hmm.
and if you don't understand it or you're looking at one for the first time, you think you're up there cranking on all these knobs. We never tip tensions at a show. Do you ever turn a tension knob?
It's like people don't believe that that's the case.
Yeah.
And I mean, even on the phone, I'm like, look, if you're up there monkeying around with that stuff, something's wrong. It's like, why, either your machine's not set up properly. You talk about bobbin tension more than your upper tension.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm just I've been around these machines for a long time too. And it's like, man, you don't really change. You're not messing with that stuff.
No. The only time you really adjust tension is if you're sewing on something really thick.
Yeah.
Or something really, really thin. I mean, and look, I don't have experience with other embroidery machines. This is all I know.
Right.
Since 1992, this is all I've been around.
And that's kind of what I was going to say too. Is like, why would we do it when we don't have to do it? And the fact that other people are doing that, maybe they need to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I can see a case for an adjustable presser foot a whole lot more than I can tensioners.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why I'm so against tensioners. Let me tell you why. Automatic tensioners. Number one, it's not an issue on our machines. It's not. And people say, well, you're just saying it because you don't have it. No, I'm saying it because I don't want it.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan was like, if you guys want this, we'll look into it. And we're like, well, no, please. We don't want it. And here's my issue with it. It would be fine if you had it and it works, and it's not foolproof. It's not a thing to where, oh yeah, it's I never have to touch tensioning. You still have to tell the machine
Mm-hmm.
Whether you got thicker material,
Right.
thinner material. They say automatic. It's kind of a misnomer. There's a range in thicknesses as it changes. You can't put a leather coat in there and have the machine sew it perfectly and then take it out and put a performance shirt in there and say, oh, it's going to...
Automatic to me means that, like, you load the garment and it detects what's on there.
Right. Now, you know, they got names for it, intelligent thread management, all this, and our machine has this ability where you could it will look ahead in the design and see stitch length.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some automatic things it can do there, in electronically in the machine software, but it also has to adjust the tension automatically,
mm-hmm.
electronically. It has to do that. I can grab that thread and pull on it. I can tell you if it's too tight or too loose.
Yeah.
The machine is using thousands of calculations, and I for the life of me, I know people that have had these machines and they've had some issues out of them. And I'm not going to name which ones or anything like that. We don't do that. And again, it may get better to where someday it's going to be perfect,
yeah.
and maybe we'll have it. I'll be retired because I don't want to deal with it. But there's just too much up there to go wrong. Yeah,
that's my biggest thing with it is, like, you know, you look at the tension knobs there. If something does happen, they were to break, it's a cheap fix.
I think the biggest issue people have with tensions is they don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It's lack of education. These machines are really and truly, I know they look intimidating when you're looking at all of these knobs, but you got to keep in mind, you have 15 needles, you got 2 knobs for needles. And if you're up there cranking on these knobs, there's something wrong.
That's what I shouldn't.
We sewed 2 layers of puffy foam on the XL, 2 layers of puffy foam on the 8-head machine. I never saw Earl touch the tensions. Matter of fact, I thought he had them a little loose, looking at the knobs. You know my theory on tensions.
Yeah.
You know.
I do it the same way.
They all start, and that's you have to have a uniform place to start.
Yep.
Couple threads in, maybe 3. Leave it alone. Check your bobbin tension. I cannot stress enough. People, you will have more issues out of your bobbin tension.
Yeah, you think about any time we're sewing something, or if I'm sewing in here and something's wrong, 99.9% of the time it's the bobbin tension. I can't tell you. I can probably count on one hand the time I've touched an upper tension knob.
I'm telling you, and I don't. Again, I don't have experience with other machines. Maybe they do have to crank on it all the time. Right. Maybe. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it might be something that's designed because those other manufacturers saw a need and they're fixing it.
Right.
If we do that, what's the reasoning?
I don't know where it adds value to the machine.
Right.
That's our machine.
Right.
That's the point. But again, a Baird machine is its own thing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this. Other machines out there are kind of copies of a Tajima.
Correct.
They drive their needle a particular way. We drive ours absolutely differently. Our sewing head inside is a little simpler. It's not as complex. It's really easy to work on. The way that it works is very simple, where the Tajima type sewing head is a little more, you got a reciprocator in there, which adds to the pressure foot issue.
Mm-hmm.
Ours doesn't. It's and I've seen inside of a Tajima sewing head. And again, I am not knocking that. Tajima makes a great machine. If I didn't have Barrett in, that's probably what I would have.
Yeah.
If I were buying a machine, but I just and you can. Well, you know, I'm 65 years old. I'm not hip on technology. Technology is fine if it works. If it's let me give you another analogy. I'm a motorcyclist. I've got a simple Harley-Davidson Sportster, which is one of the simplest bikes in the world. If something happens to that bike, I can fix it. Mm-hmm. I can work on it. It doesn't have ABS. It doesn't have ride modes. It has a motor. It does have electric start. It is fuel injected.
That's transmission.
It's transmission and a motor, and it's so reliable, and there's nothing really to go wrong. There really is nothing to go wrong on that motorcycle. And if it does, I can fix it. I've got a Triumph, and it's got all these gewgaws and gadgets, automatic suspension, all this crap on it. If it breaks, I'm screwed. I have no idea. Yeah. I can't fix it.
It's like a car, too. Like, you can't fix cars nowadays. You can't work on them.
It's got lean angle ABS. It's got traction control. It's got 4 ride modes. It's got all this stuff on the buttons on the screen that you can tailor make. I can set the suspension on the bike with a push of a button. If I have a passenger, I'll say, I have a passenger. It automatically adjusts it. You can feel it moving. It's nice. It worries me. It scares me if it tears up. Because if it's out of warranty, what's that going to cost me? Mm-hmm. Somebody told me the rear shotgun's $2,000.
That's crazy.
And then I'm screwed. It scares me to death. I'm like, man, maybe I'll, before the warranty's up, I'll sell it and get something. But another thing, if you have automatic tensioning and you don't understand tensions, if you don't learn this way and you go to it automatically, when something messes up or you see it, how do you know
to start or
what to do?
Right.
I told a customer they were asking about it, and I told them, I said, if we don't have it, don't want it, and the guy was like, well, what do you mean? I said, we truly don't want it. I don't want it. I mean, honestly, if Barrett and they had no plans, but if they did it, I think I'm like, well, yeah, I'm about ready to retire anyway. So I'll leave it to you there, bud. Let you deal with it.
I ain't gonna be in charge.
But I said it's like driving a car. Everybody gets in vehicles now. I learned to drive on a manual transmission. Mm-hmm. You learned to drive on a manual transmission. Kyle learned to drive on a manual transmission. My wife did. You can't even get a manual transmission much anymore. But if you're driving a car, and let's say you have to go somewhere and all you got's a manual transmission, you can't drive it. What are you going to do?
Right.
I think everybody needs to learn to drive a manual. I just do. Anyway, that's my spiel on it. And I'm not knocking it. Again, technology is a good thing. But sometimes I think that on the embroidery machine side, just the basics, we kind of overcomplicate it just a little bit.
Yeah,
you told me somebody at the show had digitizing on the machine.
Yeah, I went to go look at it, and yeah, it ain't really digitizing.
But and they have fonts on the machine, and we did way back.
But you think, well, is that where you want to spend your time, in front of your embroidery machine that should be sewing, and you're sitting there digitizing on the screen?
I don't get that.
Explain that to me.
No, that's. I don't want fonts on my machine. I don't want fonts.
That's, again,
I want that needle to be moving up and down.
Right. If you need to do digitizing, go over to your desk, sit at your computer, and digitize. That's not what the machine is for.
Get you some Wilcom software, the best there is out there, and just and set up your fonts. While the machine's sewing, you can set up your fonts. You can set up a font file with 15 names, 20, whatever. Throw it in the machine, and you're done. I just don't understand.
It's like you're selling a computer that occasionally digitizes or that occasionally sews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and don't take this as sour grapes because it's not. I just really think.
Well, and it's questions we get asked too, and I don't ever badmouth anybody, but I'm like, and again, I've only been around these machines. I've seen others operate. I've never ran them, but I just know from being around Barrett, and this is a problem that we don't have. And then it's like you're introducing more technology. Well, down the road, that's going to be a problem, and expensive to fix.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I've looked inside those heads with these auto tensioners on.
Yeah,
and
I did 2 years ago.
It's electronic. I don't know how the end user would fix it. I don't know. If the tensioner messes up on this, you know what you do? You take a knob off and put a new spring on it.
Exactly.
Takes you 15 seconds. Oh, wow. Probably takes 2 minutes.
And the other thing, too, is you think about technicians. They've got to be qualified to work on those electronics in that tension base, or however you want to say it.
Well, I guess you just start switching parts out, I guess, is pretty much what you do. Like with any other electronic thing. I mean, there's some checks you can do for boards and everything else, but I don't know. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things, and a lot of it is marketing. And I know they say, well, your operator doesn't have to be experienced. Okay. I kind of get that. I see where they're going with that. But if you were training someone, would you want to put them on a regular embroidery machine and then go, because if you don't know what's
it's like you said,
not
if you
working,
don't know what it's even supposed to look like from the get-go, how do you know where to go from there?
Well, I read some of the literature on it too, and it says, well, setup time is a lot quicker because you know, if your machine doesn't have auto tensioning, then you have to load the design, set your tensions. That's just not true. We load a design and sew it.
Yeah,
we don't go up there cranking on tensions. And I'll tell you, well, you and I have sewed just about everything in here on these machines.
Oh yeah.
How often do we mess with the tension? The only one we messed with was that 2-head right there, and that was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Remember what happened?
Yeah, the thread wasn't in the.
It wasn't in the tensioner.
Snapped in the tensioner.
We finally figured it out by looking.
Yeah, I kept looking. I'm like, man, that keeps moving over to the right awfully far. None of them were in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, once you did that, sewing great.
But that was very weird. We had to snap every one of those in there individually on both heads, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. There was no dirt in there.
No, and even that 8-head, threading that up, it's just you slide it in and it goes.
You can feel it. You can feel it catch.
Spring back, slide it into the notch.
We were pulling the discs up and physically making sure we had the thread in there. And once it's in there, it can't come out. Yeah. But it just wouldn't go in there for some reason. That was very strange. I've never had that happen. Never in my life. But anyway.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
But enough of that. And again, it's not. We're not knocking anybody. It's not
at all. No,
it's just
we talked about this. I guess yesterday might have been.
We talked about it on the way home because we got the question quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's like we'll just address the question because we get asked, and these are the same things that I tell customers when they ask. I'm like, it's not a problem that we have. So
yeah.
And I mean, I want to be transparent with people. If it was something like, oh yeah, we really need that, I don't want it. I mean, and I guess technology's cool, but again, when something happens to that, I just see it being an expensive problem, like your rear shocks on your.
I can't stress
Triumph.
it. I can't stress it enough. It's not that you put it in there and it does everything automatically. There are still settings that you have to make.
Yeah.
And I was reading through one of the manufacturer's troubleshooting guides. If that automatic tensioning is not working, then you try this. So, it's not truly 100% automatic.
Right.
They make it sound like, oh yeah, it detects the fabric and it automatically sets the tension. Well, there has to be a baseline somewhere, and you got to start with the baseline, and they'll have for denim, for this, for that. Okay, what if you got a thicker denim? You put it on denim and your tensions are off. I guess it's just because we just don't see problems with tensioning. We don't. Now, on a cap with double puff foam, yeah, but if you know how to sew foam, then you should know how to set your tensions. So,
yeah, and that's the other thing too. It gives the operator or the owner the chance to actually learn embroidery and what it should look like, a finished product should look like.
Well, I'm going to say something here too. And I know people get into embroidery to make money. And that's what we want. We want our customers to be successful. We want them to make money and come back and buy more machines. The thing that bothers me about automatic stuff is I've always felt that embroidery is an art form.
I agree.
And I still feel that to a certain extent.
We've said that on here many times.
And I've been around people who are really good embroiders that I've learned from. And I'm just talking about hooping techniques, machine settings, speeds, knowing what to do with different materials and fabrics. it seems like we're taking that away,
right,
and just making robots to run these. And I know, a big corporation will say, that's fine. We love robots. They don't take days off. They don't take lunch. That's what we'll do. But there has to be a little bit of passion and care put into these designs.
Yeah, and it's
and that may sound hokey to a lot of people, but I truly, I look at the stuff that Arnaldo sews, VIP embroidery. These guys are artists, and the passion that they put into their designs, and wanting to do a good job, and wanting their designs to look good for their customers. If a robot doesn't care, it doesn't care.
No, eventually uprise and kill you.
Well, it's just trying to get it done as quickly as possible, and it doesn't really care about the quality of the end product. I just think you need some of the human quotient, the human touch, I guess, into the equation. Am I getting deep? Am I getting pretty deep? How deep? No, I'm scale of 1 to 10. Where am I?
You're like an 8.
Am I an 8?
But I agree. Like
that's me. I've always, to this day, I love watching these. I just love watching them sew.
Yeah, I mean
I can watch them all. I love it.
I'll sit there at the show and I'm like,
it's
and people that walk by, they're like, even if they're not even looking at a machine, they stop and they're like, man, it's just mesmerizing. It kind of just draws you in. I'm like, yeah, it does.
But it is like art, and like if you take eight caps that we sewed off of those heads and look at them, each one of them is just a tiny bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one will have a loose stitch, or maybe one will be just a little bit different, and it's part of it's what you're sewing on too. There's inconsistencies in the caps.
Yeah.
But to me, when you have that, you have a one of a kind garment or piece. I know. People probably say, "Well, you're reaching." No, I'm not. I mean, yeah, we sell embroidery machines, and it's important. It's important to our livelihood. It's how we make our living. It's how our company survives. But really and truly, I do look at it as you're creating a piece of art for someone, a shirt, a cap, a monogram, whatever it is, that they'll keep for a long time.
Yeah.
And they'll enjoy it. And they're proud to wear it and proud to look at it. And that's why I truly look at it that way. And the plus side is you're making money doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, and it's I mean, I even like on Instagram and stuff, like all these people that the Barrett page follows or follows us, you look at their work and it's just, I mean, I could just look at that stuff all day.
I love looking at it. Yeah. I love looking at beautiful embroidery. I do. I mean, I wish I were a millionaire and I could have a machine to where I could just play with it and make cool stuff.
Yeah.
Digitize and stuff that no one else does. I mean, we're used to looking at logos and things like this. I mean, that's what we look at all day. But they used to use Stitches magazine used to have a little contest at the impression shows, and it was people that were on the artistic side of embroidery would make all these elaborate looking. James Timmons, look at the crap that he makes.
Oh yeah,
crap. That's not right. Look at the stuff that he makes. James Timmons is an awesome digitizer, but James has an art background and he really makes stuff that he looks at it from a different perspective, I think, and I think it makes him a better.
I think they should do that again. You need to talk to Patrick and do like a.
Think I should.
I think it would be cool. Like people could bring their designs that they digitized and sewed, and make it like a little cool contest. I think that would be awesome.
They had judges too. That would judge it, and they always put them on display at the show. And I think the last day of the show they would pick people's choice award or something like that. And I always enjoyed that. I'm like, man, some of these people are extremely talented. So I mean, if you go to robots,
which robot wins?
I know.
I like to watch robot fighting.
Remember that show where they
BattleBots?
I like that.
It's still a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, they do that in Vegas. Like people bet on it.
I bet you could bet.
Well,
is that your next
DraftKings?
Is that your next betting?
This episode's sponsored by DraftKings. No, not my next four.
Anyway, that's our take on these auto tensioners, and I pray Barrett never goes there, and I truly do.
Yeah, and this wasn't meant to like take a stab at anybody, but legitimately, we get asked, on the phones at the show, so we want to just kind of address it a little bit, and not to knock shade, throw shade.
No, we don't do that here.
No.
We don't. We are very supportive of the embroidery industry, no matter what machine you have, or no matter. Truly, it is. I want to see embroiders. I don't care what kind of machine you have. I want to see embroiders do well, because when you do well, it's good for our industry.
Yeah.
I support our industry, and I've always said that from the day I started. We're going to get our piece of the pie.
Yep.
We're not going to get every single thing. We'd like to, but then again, we know we can't. But we want all the companies out there to do well. I've got friends that work at other companies, and I want them to do well, as long as they don't take a sale away from me.
Throw that little caveat in there.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But
now, there's enough for everybody, and yeah, I'm the same way. I don't diss anybody's machines, and that's what I tell people. Like, well, how's your machine showing? Sewing? Oh, it's great. Good. All right, are you happy?
Well, back to this too. Back to these auto tensioners. 2 of these companies haven't given up on the manual ones either.
Right.
One of them only has that, and they are a lot of trouble. I hear that a lot. So there's some parts on it to wear out, and I would never. Again, we're not like that, but it's like, if it's so great, then why don't you put it on every single machine? And they don't do it. So I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah. Point made.
But
all right. Well, we're going to touch on just one little subject, the shipping fiasco.
We're back into shipping issues again. Now,
it ain't our fault.
Yeah, our inventory is good on most things right now. 6 heads.
It's decent.
8 heads. But due to the war in the Middle East with Israel, you may be aware on the news that the Suez Canal, they're having, boats don't want to go through there.
It's a little risky.
They're afraid they'll get sunk. I think one ship was sunk.
Yeah,
a drone sunk it. I think it was a freighter. Well, they're all freighters, but maybe it was a tanker. Anyway, they're having to go around the Horn of Africa to get to Europe. And you say, well, what's that got to do with the U.S.? Well, when you take a voyage that's normally 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and you stretch it to 5 weeks, that means those boats are tied up. So, make a long story short, it's been tougher to get boats. Yeah. It's always something. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, it's like you get out of COVID and
well, this
the
is
docks.
over. No, it's something else.
Yeah.
But there's a ship in Japan that has machines on it that we need, and that ship was supposed to leave port of Nagoya the 15th of March. And I got an email this morning. One of the first things I saw when I woke up this morning was looking at my emails. It's like, oh, yeah, now they're saying, we're sorry, we won't leave until 31st of March. And it's got quite a few containers on it that we need. And that's the 3rd time it's been delayed. So, and if we can get them to the port, something else I'm thinking about. God rest these guys that lost their lives in this bridge collapse.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of boats in there that ain't going to get out for a while.
Yeah.
They said it could be a month.
I heard longer than that.
So that ties up all these boats in that harbor. I don't know how many's there. Could be 5, could be 50. I don't know. Baltimore's a pretty big harbor. We were using it during COVID to get machines in. We brought them to the Panama Canal and brought them into Baltimore just for the simple reason we couldn't get boats to come from Japan over here. But Japan has really struggled getting container ships. Mm-hmm. It's been tough. China's got a bunch of them tied up. They're all on the water instead of being loaded at port. So
yeah, because it's taking longer to get here.
It's taking longer to get here.
Longer to get back.
So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. If you're waiting on a machine, especially single head, please be patient. It's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah. So we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, we're doing okay on inventory, but who knows what will happen. So just bear with us.
So
I hate to end on a bad note, but
well, I mean, you got to be optimistic about that. Things get better.
Yeah.
I try to be optimistic. I'm not always optimistic, but I try to be, and I try to look at the bright side of things, because saying "woe is me" or my life sucks. Doesn't help.
It doesn't change the situation. This is what the cards were dealt, and we're just handling it how we can.
Hope for the best.
Yeah. You getting upset about it and worrying about it, it doesn't help. So just bear with us.
I mean, I can't remember how many times I was yelled at, during COVID.
Oh,
because we couldn't,
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I'm sorry. We are doing the best. I don't drive the boat. I don't unload the boat. I don't put the container on a train. I don't drive the train. I'd like to drive the train, though.
We will occasionally drive a Ram 1500 with machines in it to your location.
Yeah, we will do that.
That's about as far as it goes.
Yeah. Well, my truck sucked the gas down with that big heavy machine on there.
Yeah, it was.
We'll find out when we pick up the trailer.
Oh, got a flat.
Oh, that machine's heavy. That 8-head is heavy, and my trailer's rated for it. It's rated for 7,500 pounds.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like it was hard pulling it, but you can tell that.
Yeah, that Hemi was a straining.
Yeah,
but I went Tuesday. That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I went. I am so screwed up with.
I am too. I don't
we have
know
a short
what
week.
day
We're off. We're off Friday. That's another thing. We're off Friday. Everybody.
Well, nobody knows this. This will come out next week. So happy Easter.
Oh, but yeah, happy Easter.
Happy Easter was great.
I went to get my trailer, and I backed up to it. Looked through my rearview mirror. The back. It's a tandem trailer. The back tire was flat as a pancake. I'm like, I must have ran over something. I guess. I don't know. So I carry a spare. So I got the jack out, jacked it up, changed tire, looked at it. I'm thinking, well, it's probably got a nail in it. That thing had a big split in it.
Busted.
And I'm telling you, I don't know what kept that tire together. It was not flat when I parked it. Even at 3 o'clock in the morning, I know it was. I would have felt. I would have felt
passenger side?
No, it was on the driver's side.
Okay.
I look back in my rearview mirror, backing up to the trailer. I'm like, that the tire looks funny. How come it's pooched out on the bottom? There's no air in it. And I showed you that tire.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm just thankful it didn't happen while we were.
Oh my goodness!
Not that it would have exploded.
No, but the last thing I want to do is change a tire on the side of the interstate.
Yeah,
man, that's terrifying.
I remember would we take that machine or? Yeah, we dropped that machine off in West Virginia. Came back and stayed in Charleston.
The next morning we had a flat.
Yeah, and
I had to buy a new tire. That wasn't a tire. It was on the opposite side.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, it's always something. It's like you think you plan things out, it's going to go so smoothly, and it never does.
No.
So just be prepared for anything.
Yeah. Now I got to buy a tire.
A winch, possibly. No, we got that.
No, we fixed that. We know the problem with the winch.
Yeah.
We got that. We got that covered. So.
All righty. Anything else you want to cover?
I don't think so. Thank you guys for putting up with us. Thanks.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of support at the show. People are watching it and wanting us to put out more content, and we need to.
I know, man. It's so tough because it all falls on me. And you like to be.
Well, I'm just saying, just me and you.
You can't edit a video.
No.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we've got, there's a lot of stuff we want to do as far as video content, but man, I'm just not that dude.
Maybe we can get to it this summer.
We need to. I mean, there's no reason we can't. We have everything that we need to do it. It's just doing it. Yeah.
Do we?
What do we need?
Do we?
Some on-screen talent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Pat Sajak's going to retire.
Is he?
Yeah. From Wheel of Fortune.
Vanna's hanging around, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's something I know some people have suggested some videos, so we have ideas. It's just, gosh.
And we got full-time jobs. I mean, we have good intentions, but, we travel and...
If people understood the amount of things we get done with the limited amount of not only brain capacity, but also human capacity, they would be amazed.
Well, brain capacity is really big.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we got some good dedicated people.
Yeah.
That everybody here multitasks.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one or two.
We'll get stuff done, though.
We will.
But Thad had a lot of really good ideas and sent me some stuff that I want to address at some point. But
we want to get on the ball here with the networking too. But there's been a couple of hold ups with it. And that's one reason I'm going to Germany. We got a meeting with Nippon Dempa, who was the parent company on the software side.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure all our ducks in a row before we, put out. We're going to make a good video. We just haven't figured it out yet, but we want to make a good networking video. That's going to be very time consuming, and networking is something that you can't hold it.
I know. That's everybody's biggest struggle with understanding how it works, and you can only explain it to somebody so many times for I need to see it.
Yeah.
Which I will just put a shout out to Robert Elrod. He's got his networking set up. He called me yesterday and just raving about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Elrod?
Oh, yeah.
Did Elrod do it?
Yeah. The majority of it. Him and, what's his,
Rob.
Rob, yeah.
Rob's smart.
He is very smart.
I don't know about Elrod. You think Elrod's smart?
He'll listen to this, so yes. Okay. I'll tell you after the podcast. No, I mean, he's like, this is great.
And I'm joking. I love Robert.
Yeah. So, if you're in Florida and you want to see it in action, let me know, because he's got a lot of machines hooked up to it.
Yeah, I need to get him a demo machine.
We talked about it yesterday.
I know. Well, I don't have anything right now, honestly.
I told him.
Yeah.
But
we had a little bit of inventory, but then we sold it. And again, it's getting hard to get machines in again. It's just, man, it's so aggravating. You got these plans, but yeah, the network, you can't really show the networking. All you can show is what it did.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
here's the design. You push a button. There it is. But how did it get there? If you could do some kind of a spirit. Going
I need to do some animation in a video. I could animate it.
Like it going up to a satellite.
Right.
It doesn't go to satellite.
It doesn't.
Does it go to satellite?
I don't know.
It could.
I don't know.
We could make it go to satellite.
It might already.
It might.
Yeah.
It goes to the interwebs.
I mean, even me, I have a hard time, until I see it working, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it now.
It's hard to conceptualize it because it's not tangible. It's not like you can grab it and say, oh, here it goes. Where, you carry a thumb drive to a machine and put it in there. You still can't see that design going in there, but it does.
Yeah, he's pumped about it, man. We talked a long time about it yesterday. So, or Monday, whatever day.
Well, I'm glad he's happy with it.
Yeah.
He deserves a good networking system.
He does.
The chicken man's doing networking.
Man, we were talking about chicken yesterday because Huey Magoo's expanding.
Did you tell him about Royal Farms?
I did not, dude. I need to.
Oh, buddy, I'm telling you.
I'll talk to him later.
It's in my top 5.
I don't know if it's because I was starving.
I was so hungry. I
know
hungry. You were getting grouchy, so I know you were hungry.
I wasn't grouchy. It's just, I try to not eat anyway until I stop eating at 7 p.m. and then I don't eat until after lunch the next day.
Yeah, I ate so bad.
So I know that's what I was going to say. I ate absolute trash.
I hadn't eaten. You and I, we ate a little bar. I had some bars and I gave you one because I was literally starting to get a headache. We hadn't eaten all day. I hadn't eaten a thing all day.
Yeah.
We drank a cup of coffee.
That was it.
That's all we had. We didn't eat till 8:30, 9 o'clock.
It was 9 o'clock.
And we normally stop in Delaware and get Chinese food. But
we've done it once and it was great.
We had to, and man, I feel so bad when I eat that stuff. It's full of MSG, sodium, and
MSGs, man.
House cats and everything else. I'm just oh my goodness.
House cats.
But that chicken.
It is good. And I think that stuff's only good. And that chicken that we had was probably only so good because we were absolutely starving.
I don't know. They said it's award-winning chicken.
It was good.
And they had a gigantic statue of a chicken outside.
It must be good.
If you think enough of your chicken to have a giant statue outside, you gotta be good. You gotta be good.
You have to be good.
You can't put it out there.
I mean, they're pushing their chicken more than they push their gas.
If your chicken wasn't good, and they said this chicken sucks, I could see one of those 18-wheelers just running over it.
Oh, if I would have had that chicken, I would immediately, and it was bad, I would have walked over to it and just pushed it over. I would
have spread dirty graffiti on it. What I would have done if it had been bad. I would have went and bought some spray paint, and I would have written. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what I would have written, but it wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good.
And I'd probably been on camera, and I probably got arrested.
Yeah, so shout out to
violating
Royal Farms.
A chicken.
Royal Farms chicken, award-winning.
How did we get on this tangent?
Who knows? We hadn't had many this episode, so it's about time.
I guess so. But man, I'll tell you, you laughed at me. I got the waffles. I got the little waffles, the little waffle biscuits.
Was it more than one waffle?
too.
Oh, they look good.
I will tell you, no offense, Royal Farms, thank you for feeding us. That potato salad, I didn't know about that. It's a little different.
Everything was different. Their seasoning, the French fries.
Chicken was good.
The biscuit was...
I didn't get French fries.
The
person before me...
My bad.
The person before me, because there was nobody around except me and you. The person before me got all the French fries.
I didn't get all of them. I had what they had left, which was all of them.
And she said... She was so nice. She said...
she gave me an extra piece of chicken.
Yeah, you did.
Got a 3-piece, got a 4-piece.
She... You know what? I think I had... No, I don't remember what I had. Anyway... I ordered French fries, which I never eat French fries, but I was starving to death. And you know, when you're so hungry, it's like, I don't give a crap what I'm eating.
When I'm the hungriest, I'll eat garbage,
and I
burgers and...
I shouldn't. I never eat that. I never eat that stuff. I eat pretty good. Well, we didn't eat that good in Atlantic City, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't good, was it?
No, I feel like...
Yeah. I've really cut...
intervention. Dude, I'm off the wagon with my food. I'm gambling.
I told you, Atlantic City. It's an evil mistress.
It'll turn a man.
I'm telling you. Oh, she says, honey, it's going to be a while on the fries. I'm like, oh, man. I thought, man, Brandon's waiting. I can't keep Brandon waiting. He's in the truck.
Dude, I was in heaven. I was just in there eating. It was good.
And I'm like, I said, yeah, I'll just take something else. And she said, well, we got macaroni salad. I hate macaroni salad.
Oh, get out.
Macaroni and cheese. I can't do cheese.
That would have been great.
Yeah, no. Cheese and I...
We would have made it to the next gas station.
Maybe not. She said potato salad. I'm like, I like potato salad. I'm just figuring, hey, you know what? Potato salad. Wouldn't you think potato salad is a pretty safe choice most of the time?
Yeah, I would have until I tasted everything else.
Does everybody like potato salad?
I love it.
It's a favorite. I'm like, I could do potato salad. I wanted to get something I could eat with my fingers. You can't eat potato salad with your fingers.
You can't if you're hungry enough.
I guess you could, but that was the only choice I had. Or wait on the French fries. So, and we ended up sitting there anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I get this greasy chicken all over my...
I know, it was a mess.
Steering wheel. I don't want that on there. You know,
around.
I might have an accident. Chicken steering wheel. She says, I'll tell you what, next time you come in here, honey, I said, I'll give you some free French fries.
Like, I hate to tell you.
I'll never be back.
It's going to be probably 1 year from now.
We'll have to. No. If we hadn't dropped that machine off, we'd been eating Chinese food.
In Delaware.
At the Joe Biden rest stop.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Exit number 31.
Which I think is where my podcast stuff got stolen from. But I don't know that.
Out of there?
No, I'm kidding.
No. We know where it got stolen.
Maybe.
I know.
If I had not known that, I'd surely pack that stuff up and put it in the trailer. I was about to ask the people at the hotel, like, hey, by chance, do you have a podcast studio in a box that was left here a year ago? But I know I loaded it up. So
no, it was sitting right here.
I know
where it was. There's no doubt in my mind. Well, okay.
Anywho, well, we hope your Easter was great. Thanks for listening to us.
I hope you got some value out of this because it's a lot of good information.
Most of it.
Most of it is.
If you want to know where to get real good chicken.
Royal Farms is good.
Yeah.
I will tell you. I will. Well, I don't go to Virginia. You go to Virginia a lot.
I know. I see them all the time up there. I'm like...
You like it better than Wawa?
No, Wawa's the jam. They got everything.
See, I thought that place was a Wawa.
You thought
for the longest time.
You were very sure there was another gas station that we stop at. There's not even one. There's one in Maryland.
That's why we went so far.
Yeah. It's called a Wiggles or Waggles.
Wiggles.
Yeah.
They're in Tennessee.
Yeah. Zero.
Love them. They're good too. They got great coffee. They got excellent. There's one right across the North Carolina-Tennessee border when I'm going over to Knoxville. Run right there at the base of the Smoky Mountains. Stop there every time. Always stop there. I never fail to stop there.
You should try their chicken next time.
They have chicken.
I'm sure.
I have to get it and compare it to Royal Farms. There's no way you could beat it.
Mm-mm.
No way.
It's on par with Bojangles. Oh, I'm just kidding.
No, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, it is.
Bojangles are the best. All right, we're
yeah. It's time. It's beyond time. All right.
We haven't done it so long. We're just on a roll here.
Yeah. So just let us know if there's anything you want to see video wise. We promise at some point it'll happen. So
it's going to. It's going to. That's all I'm going to say. If you want a good chicken recipe,
I can point you north. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks as always.
Adios.
Adios.